You know the legend of Odysseus, the Cyclops, the Sirens, the witch who turned men into pigs. 10 years of monsters and storms on the long way home from Troy. But the poem hides a secret almost nobody talks about. For most of those 10 years, nothing happened. No battles, no monsters, no gods. Just 600 men stranded on a beach waiting. No phones, no taverns, no news from home. Only the sea, the sand, and the endless waiting. And in that world, boredom could kill you as surely as any Cyclops. Picture it, 600 warriors bred for violence, frozen into stillness for years. In those hours, they were not heroes. They were just men trying not to lose their minds. This is the part of the Odyssey no one ever tells you. The invisible life hidden between the legends. What did the men of Odysseus actually do with all that empty time? Let's begin at dawn. A soldier opens his eyes on a beach whose name he does not know. There is no war today. There is no plan. There is only the day to survive. So he reaches for the one thing that is still his weapons. And he begins to clean them. Hour after hour, he polishes the bronze with fine, wet sand. Not because the blade is dirty. He polished it yesterday and the day before that. This is something deeper than cleaning. In a world where the wind decided whether you lived or died, where a single god's bad mood could sink your ship in an afternoon, polishing your sword was the only act of control you had left. It was a way of saying, I still exist, I can still change one small thing. Now listen to the sound. The soft, constant scrape of sand against metal. Frig, frig, frig. Now multiply that by 600 men. It becomes a low, hypnotic hum that swallows the sound of the waves. A whole army grinding bronze, thinking of nothing, just to keep the mind quiet. By midday, the bones come out. Small knucklebones taken from sheep. The Greeks called them astragao. To us they look like dice, like harmless toys. To these men they were fate itself. They threw them in the sand and bet everything they owned. Their bread, their wine, their cloak against the freezing night. Whole leagues formed between the ships, rivalries that lasted years. And here the game turned cruel. Because on that beach, the loser did not just lose a game. He dropped to the very bottom of the food chain. He ate last, he ate least, he slept farthest from the fire. The winner took the best cuts of meat, the dry spot, the respect of the others. A single unlucky throw could decide your place in the pack for a month. So they whispered over the bones as if they were gods. Because on that beach, luck was the only god that ever seemed to answer. In the afternoon, the knives come out again, but not for killing. For carving. A man finds a piece of driftwood or a knot of olive wood and begins to shape it. The tools are simple, a blade, a stone, and his own endless patience. And slowly out of the dead wood, something living appears. For one man, it is a small horse. He is carving it for a son he left behind as a baby. A son who by now may already be a grown man. He works on that little horse for months. He shaves each grain of the wood as if it were sacred. Because the carving is not really a toy. It is a bridge across time. As long as the horse is unfinished, the boy is still waiting for him. As long as he keeps carving, he is still a father, and not just a soldier on a beach. When hunger comes, and it always comes, they hunt. But hunting here is not a sport. It is a slow dance with death. They build traps from branches and stone, and then they wait. Hours motionless, under a sun that cooks the skin. One wrong movement, and the animal is gone, and so is dinner. And then finally the fire. A fish or a hare turning slowly over the flames. And something strange happens to the entire camp. The shouting stops, the arguing stops. 600 violent men fall completely silent. Not out of respect, out of hunger and something even older than hunger. For a few minutes eating together, they are not an army anymore. They are just a tribe around a fire, the way humans have always been. It is the only moment of the day that feels like peace. At night they talk. But after 5 years, there is a problem. Every story of Troy has already been told 100 times. Every battle, every hero, every death, worn smooth like a stone in a river. So they started to talk about home, but not the real home. Slowly, without even noticing, they build a better one. Ithaca becomes greener than it ever truly was. The wine sweeter, the wife more beautiful, the house larger. Each man polishes his memories the way he polishes his sword. And then it goes further. They begin to invent legends about their own families. My father once wrestled a bear. My wife is descended from a river god. A quiet shared hallucination, passed from man to man in the dark. Not because they are liars, but because the truth, that home may already have forgotten them, is unbearable. So they choose the beautiful myth instead. And when the myths are not enough, they turn to the signs. On that beach, everything means something. The flight of a single gull becomes a message from the gods. A damp stain spreading across a rock is read like a prophecy. They build small altars of dry stone. They invent ceremonies that no priest ever taught them. They pray to gods who, they are slowly starting to suspect, are not listening. Because superstition gives them the one thing the sea never will, a reason. A reason for the storm, a reason for the calm, a reason to keep hoping. But there is a dark side to all this fear. If a man starts acting strange, talking to himself, laughing at nothing, the others begin to pull away from him. They decide he has angered something invisible, that he is carrying bad luck for the entire ship. And on that beach, being alone was the closest thing to a death sentence. And this is the part of the story that truly haunts me. Most of these men did not die as heroes. They did not fall to a monster, or a god, or an enemy's blade. They died of old age, of scurvy, of small wounds that would not heal. And many of them quietly died of sadness, waiting on a beach while their captain vanished into yet another cave. Think about that for a moment. They gave their entire lives to the waiting. Years of dawn spent polishing bronze that would never see another war. Carving horses for children who grew up without them. Inventing a home that, by the time they could return, no longer existed. They lived and they died in what we might call waiting mode. Always about to leave, never actually leaving. And here is the question I cannot shake. Are we really so different? How many of our own days do we spend simply waiting? Waiting for the weekend, for the promotion, for the message that never comes. Waiting for our real life to finally begin. Odysseus got his legend. His name outlived entire empires. His 600 men got silence. History remembered the monster and forgot the men who waited for it to pass. So maybe in a way, we are all the men of Odysseus. Standing on our own beach, polishing something, carving something, telling ourselves stories. Waiting for a ship on the horizon that may never come. And the only question that really matters is this. While you wait for your life to begin, are you sure it isn't already happening?